Swivl Sessions, interviews with field service entrepreneurs. Get insights and strategies from those who took the leap and risked it all to start their own home service companies. I have always looked in awe and wonder at people who discover their path early. Those rare individuals who seem to know exactly what they want long before the rest of us are even paying attention. And they don't just dream, they manifest. And never before on this podcast has a guest embodied that more than Joseph Lambert of Joseph's Junk Removal, one of the fastest growing junk removal businesses in the Southeast. I mean, here's a guy who started mowing lawns at 12, and then in high school, rents a truck, starts a business, turns that business into a multi-million-dollar operation around the time that most of us are trying to figure out how to finish college. And one of the many things he said that I was impressed with, he said, I realized early on that when you work for yourself, the ceiling is limitless, and that I wasn't the smartest guy in the room, but I knew I could outwork anyone. And it's that mindset and determination and relentless drive that has given his life the trajectory that it has. I mean, just an incredibly inspiring conversation for any young entrepreneurs out there that want to work for themselves and they think that age could somehow be a barrier to success. Well, this episode of Swivl Sessions debunks that completely. So Joseph Lambert, Joseph's Junk Removal, enjoy the show. Welcome back to Swivl Sessions, where we love to shine a light on field service entrepreneurs. And I have to admit, we've had some pretty incredible owners on this show, Rob. I think you'll agree. They all have amazing stories and they have different backgrounds and different levels of success. They stand in their own light. But I have never been more proud to introduce our next guest because he is a fellow native Atlantan, which are not a lot of us left, but also a fellow Sandy Springs guy who grew up in Sandy Springs. Hometown boy makes good. And there's something to be said about someone with a story that's just this incredible. Joseph Lambert built Joseph's Junk Removal from a single rented truck into a multi-million-dollar, multi-location operation. And he did this all before most people get out of college. From mowing lawns as a teenager to leading one of the fastest growing junk removal companies in the Southeast. You want to talk about drive, discipline, ability, he's got it all. And we're lucky enough to have him come on the show with us. And of course, we're talking about Joseph Lambert of Joseph's Junk Removal. Joseph, thanks for coming on the show. Welcome to Swivl Sessions.
Hey, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here and thrilled to dive a little deeper.
And you're from Sandy Springs, so that's even better. We're off to a good start.
I know, we're so close to home. It's amazing. That's
We're all the same.
Awesome.
I'm kind of from Dunwoody, right next door.
I now have to ask, what road did you grow up off of?
Roswell Road, my friend.
Okay.
The peach tree of Sandy Springs.
Yes. Do you remember the old Big Lots off Roswell Road? So I grew up.
That's right there at Mount Vernon, right?
What's that?
Isn't that right there at Mount Vernon?
It's
a little bit north, like right on the other side of North Springs High School.
It's Spalding, yeah, Spalding Drive in Dalrymple, and
that's right.
Yeah,
you nailed it.
And you know what it used to be, Joseph. We're going to show our age here, but it used to be a
Isn't
movie
that where
theater.
Dempsey was?
Yeah, he lived in Princeton Square.
Square.
But it used to be a movie theater. It used to be a A&P. It used to be a drugstore, Buddy's Liquor Shop. That's an important place in our life.
I remember that place well.
That's awesome.
But it's a great place to grow up, but we were unincorporated Sandy Springs, Joseph. So we were a little bit edgier than you are.
Back in the day.
So, all right, Joseph. So pretty impressive. I love the fact that you're from our side of the world here. Tell us a bit about your background. So, well, you know what? This is a terrible question because before you were an entrepreneur, you were like just a student running on a playground. So, I mean, what were you doing before you got into being an entrepreneur? Really? I mean, did I just answer that question for you?
No leading questions, Rob.
Well, it's
a question I like to ask everyone. What I want to get into is like that decision to jump into being an entrepreneur because there's a lot of risks involved. But if you're doing it at age like 12, that's there are no risks.
That's very true. And what's so cool is actually Chris Millen plays a pretty big part in this story, especially early on. My story really starts at the beginning. I think is I'm the oldest of 5 kids. All my siblings and I are about 2 years apart, give or take. Come from a phenomenal family. One sad thing though, my parents divorced when I was 12. And, everybody handles things like that differently. For me, kind of my outlet was working. I really enjoyed working. I enjoyed the economics, although very simple at the time, of just making money. And I was never afraid of hard work or getting my hands dirty. So when I was, 12, 13, 14, there's basically two things I did. I mowed lawns, mainly in the neighborhood. And then I actually worked with Chris Millen over the summers, building decks, painting houses, doing all kinds of work. And Chris was one of the first men outside of my dad who really had a big impact on my life. He always pointed me, I think, in the right direction, taught me to do what's right, how to, always put the Lord first, to treat people well, how to do good work, how to relate to people. He's still to this day the savviest, street smart person I've ever met. And I learned a lot riding around the truck with him during the summer. And another thing he taught me, which was invaluable, is how to work hard. My mom would usually meet him in the Chick-fil-A parking lot at 6 a.m. before the sun came up. I'd jump in his truck. We'd go to the job site, and we usually didn't get home until after dark. A 12-hour day was normal. And I learned very early on how to work very hard. And I also enjoyed it, and I got to work with great people. But Chris really played a huge part in that. I ended up realizing that I really enjoyed, I think, working for myself, just because I could grow something, and the ceiling was limitless when you have your own business, which is just a beautiful thing in a lot of ways. Throughout my high school years, I did everything I could persuade somebody to hire me to do. If there was a job that somebody said they needed done, I was going to confidently say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, I can get that done for you. Whether I had ever done it before, I was confident to say, I can figure it out. I pressure washed, I put gutters on somebody's house, or attempted to, painted decks, tried to build stuff. Some of it I failed miserably. Like, there was one job, I was supposed to tear down these concrete pillars in somebody's driveway. I had never even thought to look for rebar in these concrete pillars. And I thought the job would take me 3 days and one dumpster. It ended up taking me 3 weeks and 10 dumpsters. But the lesson of charging $1,000 for a job that ended up costing you $3,000 at 16 was a great lesson.
That's how you learn.
That's how I learned. And I had a lot of those. And then it ended up when I was 17, I was a senior in high school. I had mainly been doing landscaping and all these other odd jobs I would pick up. And I kind of fell into the junk waste space because I had a landscaping customer, very sweet old lady. She actually lived off Abernathy in Sandy Springs. And she was just downsizing. Her husband had passed away, and she was moving up to North Georgia. And she just had a lot of outdated furniture that, she just needed somebody to get rid of it. So I ended up doing it for, brought in a couple buddies to help. And I was like, wait a second, this junk business is so simple. I think we can replicate this over and over and scale it. So that was when I really decided to go all in on the junk business. And I kind of stopped doing anything else and just focused on that. I also realized, look, there's 1-800-GOT-JUNK, which is like a $700-800 million a year company. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I'm not as smart as Elon Musk. I can't go create industries, but I can look at somebody that's already figured it out and probably do it a little bit better. Kind of with the McDonald's of the junk industry already charting the course. I was like, well, I'll just, figure out how to do it just like they did and do it better. So that's what we did. I've had an awesome 5-year run of running it on my own. Had a phenomenal team, learned a lot. A fun fact, so the 5 years I ran it on my own, the first year and the last year we were profitable. The 3 years in between we were not. And it was mainly just because we were very growth focused. We were spending so much money on marketing, just trying to grow the business, kind of at all costs, to be honest with you. And then
Growth fever.
What's that?
Growth fever.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have heard the line, top line is for vanity, bottom line is for sanity. And I was like the reverse of that. I was like, top line over all else. We'll figure out how to be profitable later, which, I wouldn't do it that way now, but I learned a lot trying to do it that way before. And we did legitimately grow faster than anyone, else I knew in that time period. And then, about 4.5 years in, private equity came knocking. It took a while to figure that out, but we ended up selling the business early 2024 to a group that was private equity backed, that was buying other junk businesses. And it was phenomenal. Huge win for our team. One of the things we did that was fairly unique is we went to our team. We had about 35 people on our team at that point in time. We told them about 6 months before, hey, this is what we're trying to do, but we don't just want this to be a win for people that have ownership in the business. We want to make this a team win. So if you guys can help us all row in the same direction and push this thing through, we're going to have 4 and 5 figure payouts for everybody if this business ends up selling. So when it did sell, we got to, pay 4 or 5 figure bonuses to people that are making, 15 to 21, 22 an hour, which is a pretty big deal.
Oh, yeah.
So it was really awesome. And then I personally was on with the group that bought us for almost 2 years. And actually, I finished up my last day there at the end of October of this year. So I've been
Just recently. Yeah, I saw that on LinkedIn. Congrats.
Yeah, I've been I guess on my own again for the last.
Right back where you started when you were what, 14?
Yeah, well, I like to think 12, 11, 12 is probably when I first started mowing my first lawns.
Joseph,
what's
in those
next
early.
for you?
Go ahead, Rob.
Sorry, and just follow on that. So what's next then?
It's a great question. I have some things I'm running at. We'll see what works out. First of all, I started a manufactured housing business with my mom about a year and a half ago. So when I sold the business, I had some liquidity and wanted to invest it really ideally beyond the stock market. Wanted something a little more high growth. I mean, I'm so young, like there's no point. I don't just need to throw it somewhere and let it grow. That's at least not what I wanted to do. There's a lack of affordable housing, and homes are not built quickly when they're built stick built. So she had some friends that were buying land up in East Tennessee and putting manufactured homes on it. And we really liked it because it was meeting a need for affordable housing, or really more workforce housing if we're going to be technical. And then also, it was a much faster process. I mean, when we close on a piece of dirt, we can have a home up and listed in 60 days, which is just a really quick turnaround time. So you can just recycle your capital a lot quicker in that business than if you're doing like a stick built neighborhood. So we've been doing that for the last year and a half, 2 years. So I'm certainly, got a lot of my time focused on that and growing that business. And then also, I'm sure I'll venture back into the waste industry at some point. I really like the waste industry. It's, pretty stable for the most part. There's trash really isn't going anywhere, and we're just generating more of it. I mean, the average person, at least last time I checked, generates like 4 to 5 pounds of trash a day. Somebody's got to pick that up in some way, shape, or form. So that's what I'm doing right now. But I've also got a wife and a little baby girl that's 4 months old. So
Congrats.
I used to get up at 4 a.m. and be at the office by 6 a.m., which meant I didn't see them till 6, 7 o'clock at night. It's special some mornings now to actually get to, wake up with them and hold my little daughter. So I know those days won't last forever, but I'm thankful to have those for a brief moment of time.
Well, going back to the early days, Joseph, when you first became an owner, what were some of your expectations going in when you first started the junk removal business from just the owner's perspective?
Yeah, a couple things. I mean, I think first, you get into business to make money. Going and working for somebody else is easier. It's safer. So the expectation is that you're going to make more money than had you just gone and gotten the salary somewhere else. I think also, as a business owner, you expect some level of flexibility. I've always told guys that worked for us, I was like, the way my life looks a little different than yours is like, you come in, you clock in, and you were required to work until you clock out. But you don't have to go home and pick up your phone at 9 o'clock at night, or, deal with somebody not showing up in the morning or something like that. So, you get the benefit of clocking in and clocking out, but also somebody else is controlling when you clock in and clock out. For me, I can work kind of whenever I want to, but also I'm always on at the same time. So it's a different kind of flexibility. I don't think one's better than the other. I think it's just different. Yeah, it's different. Some people like certain ones better than the other. I thrive in that. I love to work, but I also love to be there for the moments that matter, like being with my families. It just was being a business owner was really a good fit for me. So certainly expected to make more money, which I think that worked out. Expected the flexibility. And then lastly, like I expected to be able to build something. I'm an incredibly creative person, but not creative in the sense like, I want to go sit in a studio and paint a piece of art. I love building things. Legos were my favorite thing growing up. So I just love building things. And I think business is one of the coolest things you can actually build. I'm also an incredibly competitive person. So played sports in high school and, had a very deep desire to win. And business is like playing football 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, which I love that. Sometimes, you get smashed in the face and get knocked down and got to get up the next day. It's not as, you're smashing somebody else in the face, at least, in a good way, hopefully. So I love the competitiveness. I certainly expected that. I expected, the flexibility. I expected the ability and the ceiling to make more money. And I think lastly, like I expected, look, this is going to be riskier. If you go get a salary at, Chick-fil-A or Coca-Cola, you're just going to earn that salary. You're going to take it home. But the upside is, nowhere near it as with owning a business, but also you can lose everything and go bankrupt. I mean, I still remember it was like year 3 or 4 for a variety of reasons. We were like $100,000 in credit card debt. It was like our backup of backups had just not really worked out. And it was not a good place for the business. We certainly climbed out of it and we're in a great cash position, 2 years later. But that was one of the risks, but I think we figured it out. So I know it's a long answer to your question, but there's certainly a lot of things that I think in small ways I expected, and a lot of it I learned more along the way.
I think that is kind of the nature of small business entrepreneurship is in a lot of respects learning it on the way and hopefully getting past those hurdles. And it sounds like you have. That's great. So going back to the junk business, tell me this. So your customer base, I guess it wasn't just residential. You were doing some commercial cleanouts and construction stuff as well. And then I'm not going to ask you what you sold it for, but I'm going to ask you what your last year's revenues were. So in 5 years, you went from 0 to what in revenue?
5 years went 0 to 2.8, 2.9 million.
Fantastic.
Nice.
And tell me about your customer base. What was the mix?
We were overwhelmingly residential. We were bought. Some of the other companies have more of a commercial base. That just was never really our jam to an extent. We were probably about 5 to 10% commercial, and then the rest of it was just residential. We were also like a little bit more of a high volume business. I really am a huge fan of systems, and I want things to be predictable. So I was much more a fan of doing a lot of jobs, even if they were smaller jobs, so we could keep our schedule full and kind of keep things consistent. Then some of the other companies, they would maybe err towards some of the bigger jobs, but it's a little more volatile and up and down. I just didn't like that as much. And that's probably more of my personal preference than anything else. But there's certainly, plenty of runway in both.
That was my MO as well with my business. And I always talked about eggs in a basket. I liked a lot of little eggs and not too many big ones because you break one and then all of a sudden, a third of your business is gone, right? So I think smart move.
Yeah, I think I'll say as well is like what I love doing the most is like leading a team. To me, the people side of the business is my favorite part by far. And if you're working for other businesses, they don't really care as much about who shows up at the front door, because usually there is no front door. It's a dumpster that you're cleaning up around, and they don't care if the guy has 6 felonies or whether he's a smiling college kid who's clean cut. They could give 2 craps. They just want it to be a lower price than the next guy. But if your wife is the one having us out, that really matters. If he's 6 felonies and smells like marijuana, that's going to be a problem. And I took a tremendous amount of pride in our customer service experience, and more so who we recruited. And we recruited mostly, almost exclusively, college kids out of Kennesaw State and a little bit from University of Georgia. And that was really kind of our product, is that we were going to send a much more clean cut, more personable person to your front doorstep than any other company. And it wasn't even going to be close. The only way you could possibly get a better experience is if you had a small operator and you got the owner at your doorstep. That was the only thing that could really beat us out. But if you called any other company, I mean, you were getting, basically a guy off the street, whereas we were going to give you the future doctor or attorney who was getting his degree, and we, had him for 4 years. So that was really what differentiated us, which is also why we chased the residential market, because there was actual value for that with residential or not so much with commercial.
How many employees did you end up with? And then how many trucks? I guess what kind of trucks did you have?
Trucks, and then it was between 30 and 35 employees. It was always changing. And we had, back office staff. So we had a small contact center answering phones, which honestly, that was kind of a little bit of a barrier to figure out, because you don't have enough volume to go hire out 5 people, but you also have to have coverage basically 7 days a week, 7 a.m., 8 a.m. to, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. So how do you figure out that way? Because you don't ever want to lose a call. And you don't want to, at least we made the decision very early on. We were never going to, move that kind of stuff overseas. It just kind of violated the experience we wanted to provide. So going and find US based people that were local, that could answer phones. It was challenging. So we had those kinds of people. We had mostly just guys that were working on the trucks, and then a few other admin related people.
So when you were scaling Joseph's, what kind of software were you guys utilizing? And was it something that you just kind of put together yourselves, or did you use one of the bigger carriers?
We actually, we used Workies from day one.
Workies?
And the reason was, honestly, I saw a guy on YouTube that was using it when I was starting out the business, and I had just dabbled a little bit with Jobber, and I started using Workies, and at least at the time, I kind of looked at them and I was like, okay, these are all fairly similar. I was like, I think the more important thing is that I just get one and stick with it and learn how to use the system really well. Because I had seen guys that like they would just hop from system to system for because they didn't like one thing and they would go try the other system that they really didn't understand, and it hindered the growth of their business. So I really put it on more on myself and said, look, all these software systems have pros and cons. They're all going to have flaws. I've got to figure it out and make it work for us. And that's what we did. So we never changed softwares. We had Workies from the time I started, and they still use that software today. And also the benefit is you get a little rapport with, your vendors if you stick with them and you don't hop around. And, it helps you when you go to the negotiating table and say, hey, like, come on, we need a better deal this year. So it helps in that respect as well.
So Joseph, what are your goals then? I mean, you have a long way to go. What are your long-term goals? Where's Joseph at in 10 years, 20 years?
That's a great question, Rob. And honestly, if you'd asked me 3 years ago, I could have told you exactly what I wanted that to look like. And I think that's changed. And I don't know, like I did maybe 3 years ago, I don't have a 10-year plan that's perfectly lined out with bullet points like I did before, because a lot of that's changed. I think the ways I've grown as a person is being okay with that a little bit. I read a ton of books, 3-4 years ago, and I still read a lot today, and a lot about goal setting. And I think I took a lot of that very literally. And I think those things are phenomenal. And I am, big on goal setting, but I also know like my situation has changed a lot. I probably was out of the junk business a little bit sooner than I thought I would be, which kind of, changed the timeline a little bit. So I think I'm still figuring out what that looks like, but I certainly see a lot of potential in this manufactured housing business. I think there's just a huge need for affordable housing. And if you look at the housing industry, I was listening to a podcast yesterday. It said over the last 3 decades, the construction industry is the only major industry that has steadily decreased in productivity and efficiency every single year for 3 decades, which is just wild to think about.
That's crazy.
So I certainly don't have it all figured out, but there's some opportunity when you see a stat like that and the need for just housing in general. But again, I love the waste industry. I think there's a lot there and there's a lot of potential. And, I'd love to get back into it when the right opportunity comes along. But goal number 1 is to provide for my family and make sure that they're well taken care of, and that I can be there for the moments that matter with them. That's always going to be number 1. Everything else.
And watch your daughter grow up.
Yes.
That's going to be a big one.
Yeah, and like my wife and I, we'd love to have some more kids. I grew up with 4 siblings, and so did she. So I think we'd love to hit somewhere close to that number. And I think being present with them is going to be a big part of whatever I do next.
That's a good goal. It's a great goal.
Yeah,
family is important.
Oh yeah, I still remember my great uncle's funeral, sitting there, and saying I love funerals is probably a stretch, but I do love hearing what people have to say at funerals about somebody. I think it says a lot.
It does.
I've done the exercise of like writing your own obituary and stuff like that, but I distinctly remember sitting at his funeral, and both of his sons talking about how present he was, and wherever his feet stood, he was always there, 100%. And it's something I've always looked back and I've really admired that. And I said, I hope somebody can say that in my funeral today.
Great compliment.
Technology, and there's so many distractions. Like there's always something pulling us away, as much as there ever was. So that's a goal, especially with family.
And 9 times out of 10, it's a screen pulling you away somewhere.
Tell me about it.
Joseph, your story is incredible, my friend. It's been awesome hearing it. But before we cut you loose, is there anything that you would like to say to any aspiring entrepreneurs that might be watching this, anyone that might be wanting to follow in your footsteps, and they have an idea and they want to manifest it? What kind of advice would you give to them?
I always go back to the Nike logo. Just do it. Or the Nike model. Just do it. There's a lot of beauty in imperfect action. And I figured out just personally so many things because I just went after it when I had it 50, 60, 70% figured out, and figured out the rest along the way. And I also figured out a lot of things because I was trying other things first. Like just a very simple example. Like if I hadn't been doing landscaping, I never would have ran into that one lady who helped me figure out about the junk industry and catapulted me into that business. Even right now, opportunities in front of me, and I don't have them all figured out, but like I'm running at them because I know either they're going to work out or it's going to lead me to the next thing. But if you just stop moving then that is going to inhibit your success. And, there's this retreat I go to every year called Adventures of the Heart, and it talks about how God created every man with adventure to go and take on challenges. And I think you can't do that if you're standing still. You can't be used if you're just, sitting at a desk or not moving. And I think, whether you're moving in the right direction or the wrong direction, that can ultimately be, centered at something that's good and beneficial for you, your family, and the whole world. So I think, for me, it's just going out and doing things that I think I can do and will help other people and that can grow, and the rest will work itself out. So just do it. And Mikey,
Simple enough, but it works. It's effective. Joseph,
You
your
bet.
story is amazing, my friend, and your drive and your passion, it's palpable. And even though you're no longer involved with it, we want to at least give your guys a good plug. And for anybody out there in the greater Atlanta area and way beyond that needs some quality customer service in the junk removal business, talking about good people doing a good job, make sure you reach out to Joseph's Junk Removal, and you can find their info right here on the screen. Put your finger up, Joseph. Right there. There you go. And you're going to be working with true experts in the field. And Rob and I, we're so happy that you could join us today, Joseph. Thank you for being with us on Swivl Sessions.
Thank you guys for having me. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
And Rob?
That's a wrap. Thanks for listening or watching. Swivl's field service software is everything you need to run your field service business for free. Till next time, check us out at swivl.tech. That's SWIVL.tech.